Mr. President.
Senator from Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to support the nomination of Jeff Sessions to be the next Attorney General of the United States of America, and I'd like to explain why. It seems to me that most Americans don't care about the politics on Capitol Hill, and they don't particularly care about the politics in the Senate, and they don't especially care about the politics in Washington, D.C. Most Americans are too busy earning a living. These are the Americans that get up every day, they go to work, they work hard, they obey the law, they try to do the right thing by their kids, they try to save a little money for retirement. Most Americans, I think, are fair-minded, and most Americans are commonsensical. They understand that when they elect a president, the president can't do the job alone. He gets help. He starts with appointing members of his cabinet. And of course, the Senate has to provide advice and consent and confirm those appointees. Most Americans understand that a president, whoever the president is not going to pick his enemies to do that. He's not going to pick somebody he doesn't trust. He's not going to pick somebody to advise him he's not qualified. He's going to pick someone he's on friendly terms with. He's going to pick somebody who's competent. He's going to pick somebody who's experienced. That's what President Trump's done. That's what President Obama did. That's what Secretary Hillary Clinton would have done had she been elected president. Now, President Trump has nominated Senator Jeff Sessions. And I recognize that not all Americans and not all members of the Senate agree with his political positions. Some folks don't agree with his political party. Some folks don't like him because they don't like the person who appointed him. I get that. Some folks may not even like the part of the country he's from. You know, that's okay. This is America. In America, you can believe anything you want to believe. And as long as you don't hurt anybody, you can say it. But it seems to me that no reasonable person, if they look at Senator Jeff Sessions' record, can argue that he is not qualified. If by qualified, you mean has the potential to be a great attorney general. This is a man who has served as a state attorney general. This is a man who was a U.S. attorney, not for 1 year or 5 years or 6 years, for 12 years he served as a U.S. attorney. This is a gentleman who's been a United States senator for 20 years. 3 terms. 3 times the good people of Alabama has sent Jeff Sessions to this body. And most people here know him. They've had lunch with him. They've met his family. They've worked with him on bills. They've worked against him on bills. They know him, and they know he's qualified. There's been a lot of discussion about whether Senator Sessions will respect the rule of law. He will. He understands the difference between making policy, as Congress does, and executing policy. And I have no doubt whatsoever that Senator Sessions, as the next Attorney General, will be more than willing to enforce laws that he might not necessarily agree with. There's been some discussion about Senator Sessions and the Bill of Rights. Senator Sessions understands the importance of personal liberty. And I listened very attentively in the Judiciary Committee. He was asked a lot of questions about our Constitution. It's clear to me that Senator Sessions understands that, you know, the Bill of Rights is not for the high school quarterback. The Bill of Rights is not there for the prom queen. The Bill of Rights is there to protect the unprotected, the man or woman in America who might want to do things a little differently. He understands that very, very clearly. At some point, Mr. President, we've all got to stop regretting yesterday, and we have to start creating tomorrow. And that's the point we're at.